the 2nd of September 2018, 10:30 a.m. 3 Vs of Canada geese fly out towards the ocean. One of the geese is albino. The tide is half in and half out, water gently seething onto the sand with an inconsistent rhythm. A pink deck chair is left abandoned on the shore. The 7th of September,
about 8:30 in the morning,
1:45 in the afternoon. The tide is coming in rapidly.
The sky is overcast, but promises
The waves
to offer
not so much
sunshine later.
lapping as slapping
Remnants
rapidly,
of sea
one after the
lettuce
other,
lies
over the
amongst
quickly
oak
diminishing
trees and
beach.
limpets and pebbles.
As I arrived, the
wet,
last
gravelly
sandbank was
sand.
losing itself in a swirl of dirty bubbles.
Yesterday it was the first day
The
of
sun is
autumn,
high, the sky is
meteorologically
ridiculously
speaking.
blue,
And there are
a boat
number
is
of
making its
small
way down the
wispy
estuary
clouds.
and out towards the sea.
A gentle breeze
There is a border
is
collie at the
interrupted
back of the
regularly
boat,
by
barking
shorter,
at the
more powerful
waves.
gusts.
More
I've been
geese
here
fees
10
pass
minutes, and
by.
a large boulder
Couples
is
with
on the
dogs
shoreline.
begin to
It hasn't
arrive
moved.
and
It
disperse.
simply has 2 metres
14
over
tide
the
is still
September.
C4:30 in the
Inwards.
afternoon.
The fields
The
and
tide is as
woodland
low
on
as
the
it
side of
gets.
the estuary
This
are so
time,
very good.
once on the
tide is
beach,
neither in
I
nor
turned
out.
right,
There's
following the river
fishing
Erme
boat, a
upstream.
navy ship, and a few leisure
First
boats.
stop, the
A
ruin,
small and
which I guess is a
very
remnant
dock
of a
on the
lime
beach
kiln.
will steep.
A large
The more
red
intact
admiral
version
bathes
sits
on the
opposite
sand near
side
to
of
me,
the river.
then flies
Both
straight at
sides
me,
are steep and
veering
deeply
at the last
wooded.
minute,
But
plucks the
although
pink
water is
deck
very
chair
rough
from the
and
sand,
I'm
folds
sat
it
on a
up and
small
walks away.
uncomfortable rock with oak
I pass a dead
virgin
crow,
sand.
half hidden in the
My
sand.
telescope's the only one that's
There are
clear.
2 small remnants of 2 small flat fires, stone circles hosting blackened branches and soft grey ash, postcards from early man. The hedgerows, Saturday, July the 13th, 1:30 p.m. Tide half in, half out. I have walked upriver and am sat on a ledge on the lime kiln ruin. In my final
The water
glance
is
at
very
life
visibly moving
I see
in
a
2
two-direct
directions
canoe
heading
heading
out
out
to
to
sea.
sea. A streak of lime
day
green
has
sea
begun.
lettuce moves like fast-moving ribbon upstream, whilst either side of it a slow-moving, silvery black mass of water flows reluctantly towards the sea. A handful of crows are holding a meeting on the Mother Queen side. Monday, July the 15th, 8:30 p.m. I think the tide is on the way out. The sun is sinking behind the horizon. There is a lot of birdsong and cawing. The slapping of the every few seconds I can see. Wednesday, 17th of July, surge near 7:45 a.m. The tide is high, perhaps on the way out. My lodestone is completely submerged, though I think I can see where it's 20th of July, 7:45 a.m. High tide on the way out. I am sat with Benjamin Grafton again, 1948 to 2015. The sea lettuce is back, acres of it. The tide and the wall of the slip. The tide 21st of July, 7:45 p.m. Tide coming in. I'm sat opposite the lodestone, which is just peeking out of the water. The sky, July the 23rd, 2:45 p.m. Low tide. School's out for summer, and hundreds of people are playing in the estuary. It's quite wonderful to witness. A dark turquoise iridescent dragonfly flirts with me whilst a puppy captivates me. Hot children shriek as they play in the water, lobster parents looking on. Voices travel differently today. 2 girls submerged midstream sound as though they are by my side. My phone rings somewhere, on a distant planet, but in fact is upon my person. I have found some rare shade about as close to the seashore as I can get. Much higher in the sky. Sandflies tickle my toes, while spiky red anemones relax. Today more than ever, this place feels like canoes, kayaks. Today Wonwell is not a classic holiday whilst the edges of the beaches, but a nature reserve of the beachy bits become temporary camps for temporarily extended families. On the cool rocks that mark out my camp, constellations of minuscule barnacles provide a milky way for the much larger limpets, colossal in comparison, their stellar pyramids like fossilised fireworks on the soft grey granite. A surprisingly loud wave suggests that the tide is coming in. Allegedly there will be thunderstorms this evening, but I'm no longer convinced. A dark copper butterfly scoots by swiftly whilst the sandflies continue to tickle. A thistle seed drifts on the breeze, out towards the ocean. I miss my sun. Another loud wave asserts itself. The sun briefly hides behind a flimsy cloud, and I begin the walk back to the road. Wednesday, 17th of July, 7:45 a.m. The tide is high, perhaps on the way out. My lodestone is completely submerged, though I think I can see where it's hiding by the wrinkles in the waves. I am sat next to Benjamin Grafton, 1948 to 2015. I hear an oyster catcher and possibly a whimbrel, but mostly I hear the waves lashing on the rocks and the wall of the slip below. There is not a soul in sight. Neither is there any sea lettuce, just clear water and very small exposures of sand. There are no boats on the horizon, no dog walkers. The water seems to slide onto the shore, quietly pulling and heaving until every now and then 3 or 4 bigger waves crash emphatically. Entirely free of footprints, the sand is pristine and delicious. I'm wondering how long I have to wait until the lodestone tips the waterline. A combine harvester starts working on the field below the schoolhouse on the Mothercombe side, its machine sounds drowning out all others. July 26th, 7:30 p.m. Tide very out, but turning. I have about 3 hours before I have to move from this spot below the golden cliff on the secret beach. To my left, a group of young people are preparing for a beach party. Next to them, a group of seagulls do the same. The evening sun is low on the horizon and seemingly aiming its sunbeams at me. The golden cliff glows. The waves are very loud and the breeze is creating a cinematic spray as they break some way out. A seagull chuckles as it flies over me. The field of tidal sands between me and the waves is deeply rutted, with bowls and atolls, ridges and curves left by the force of the outgoing tide. As I was walking back from the shore to my seat by the golden cliff, I noticed a line, like a rack zone but without the rack, a line of finely tied sand replete with sandflies. They obviously have their particular habitat. Silhouettes of 2 walkers on the Mothercombe side are enjoined by a very happy dog hurtling between them like a tennis ball, to one and then to the other and then back again. Another small group of walkers saunter back from the shore. Their dog takes off and chases some seagulls. Futile, but no doubt very fun. The humans are not amused. A thistle seed drifts by, luminous with the setting sun behind it. A large patch of estuary reflects the sun to the point where the solar glare is doubled. I dare not look that way, but when I do, I notice the long shadows of the walkers. A whole cuttlefish and just the legs of a hermit crab sit in the sand, waiting to be carried away by the incoming tide. By my reckoning, high tide will be about 3 a.m, which makes me want to come here on a full moon. Sunday, 4th of August, 8:45 a.m. Tide very in, day very overcast. Nothing distinguishes the sky from the sea on the horizon, except an obscured boat or vessel of some kind. The tide pounds the slip wall with a sound like a far-off explosion. The sand swirls in the water with each wave, like the dust settling. Autumn feels close, though really it's just that summer is having a day off. Today I can smell the sea. A beautiful wooden boat with a motor and masts heads quietly up the estuary towards the sea. Then it stops, turns a full circle, then heads off again. I'm sat by Benjamin Grafton. The tide still detonates below me. A mother, a child and a grandfather breakfast on the slip path, just out of tide's reach. The day is full of seasonal anticipation. Saturday, 10th of August, 9 a.m, tide out. Winds of up to 55 miles an hour bring sandstorms and whiskey-coloured water churning and frothing at the edges. The vistas all seem to be in soft focus, but that is simply airborne particles of sand hurtling upstream. On the secret beach, the carcass of a seagull lies prone, slowly getting covered in a thin layer of sand. When I was here a couple of nights ago, I came across a dead conger eel, about 1 metre in length, casualties of an estuary. The wind is so strong that walking into it towards the ocean takes all my concentration. My face is cut by tiny shards of sand hurtling towards me.